as a PhD thesis, as an MTech thesis, primarily belongs to the institute. So we should be drafting a policy for those kind of resources. What is your take, sir?
The thing is that just like if you see the scenario of PhD thesis in India, especially the university level, university and many of the deemed university and engineering institution too, apart from IIT and NIT, they have a MOU with the Inflimnet, and they are hosting all the PhD theses under a repository named Sodhganga.
Right.
Okay, so that Sodh Ganga repository is available to everyone, and it is globally accessed. So, for institutions like university deemed to be university and some of the engineering institutions which comes under deemed university or deemed to be university categories, they have uploaded their thesis too. For the thesis of NITs, most of the institutions they have their own repository, including IISc Bangalore, and they have drafted a full policies how their content is going to, in that. Actually, there is a guidelines to archiving the content, even if you are hosting your institutional level content like a research paper too. There is a guideline of Sherpa Romeo. There is a site, if you go to JISC UK website, they have
Right.
given a guidelines. Sherpa Romeo, it is an initiative taken by them. And what you need to do, just go through that site. Whatever they have listed a list of publishers, which allows you to archive your institutional research paper. So they
Right.
have even different categories like green publishers, green, yellow, white, and there are 5 categories. So go through that. If if your research paper, suppose that you have published a research paper with Nature, and if Nature that you can search through or browse through the journal. So if your Nature journal is available under that publisher list, you can archive whether preprint or postprint. Every detail is available through that. So it is always better idea to refer the Serpa Romeo. It is a global standards created by them, and based on the archiving process they have adopted, and whatever the archiving process permitted by the publisher, they have listed each and every one. So you can search your journals. Even you can list not only the thesis, you can host your published research paper uh, in your institutional repository. That is the better idea. Even whatever the thesis you are submitting, you framed a policy, you adopt the same mechanism. Even earlier, the ProQuest, it is the leading publisher who are publishing the thesis too. So earlier they used to publish, still they are publishing the thesis worldwide. So it is always better idea to frame a policy of IDR within institutions and give access whether you want to publish make it available to everyone throughout world, or you want to make it accessible within the campus. It is based on your decision and institutional policy, because it is your intellectual creation. All the thesis submitted by NIT Kurukshetra is the property and the copyright over the content, so you won't have any problem. So you could take reference from Sherpa Romeo and various other. Even IISc Bangalore has a very good repository. Even they, apart from the thesis they have, they are hosting all the research paper, and nearly 30 foot, I think 40,000 papers are research papers which is published by IISc communities are there in the repository. So whether that article is published in Subscribe Journal or any other journal, you won't have to worry about. Simply you go through their site and they can provide you the access. Even it is accessible within ISC community, and it is also accessible in some extent to other institution too. So you can have reference of that one also. Even they have made a mechanism that you can request the article if your institution is not subscribe that resources. You can there is a request article service. You can request that article which is published by IAC faculty. So that
Yes.
type of mechanism should be adopted for developing an IDR policies. So you take everything is available over the net. You take reference from that, and accordingly, any institution can frame the policy.
Great. So actually, this whole matter has been discussed with the NDL team. NDL team means the team, various professors of IIT Kharagpur who are involved in creating NDL platform and whole system, National Digital Library System. So we have initially discussed that should we maintain a policy for our institutional digital repository. At that time, initially they conveyed that okay, because from IDR we will be extracting only meta information of a thesis,
Exactly.
title, author name, and maybe the substract part.
So
So they conveyed that they conveyed that you do not need to maintain. But now NDL asks sometimes a person requested for a copy of the thesis. Now, copy of the thesis will retain with the institute in the IDR. NDL will not take care of the policy or any kind of constraint on that copy. So we need to draft now. Now we need to draft a policy. That's what. That's the time. That's the need of that.
one thing is that NDL is what I observed, what I did my personal experience. It is just like a metadata harvesting service.
Yes.
They have
Yes.
metadata from so many repository,
Right.
and they are not putting any full text data in that, and only they are harvesting the metadata. So
Yes.
it is in true sense, if you say that in true sense, it is not a digital library in any form. Your digital library always should have a full text access.
Right.
It's a kind of virtual library they have created. They are harvesting their metadata, and the original resource lies with the particular institution.
Institute. Right.
So this is the way they have done. But IDR is completely different than only harvesting the metadata. Although what you can do, develop your IDR using open source software like DSpace is very good in hosting IDR, institutional digital repository. DSpace is one of the best software developed by the MIT and HP Lab. It is a good software, and it also supports OAI PMH protocol as well as Oyster service. So it will automatically harvest your data in so many repository, and it will be accessible through their. There is a service called RIM, Research Information Network
Yes.
Service. So in that format also they are extracting metadata, and it is globally accessible to many institutions who are developing their repository either on DSpace or ePrints. ePrints is
Yes.
also a good software which is developed by University of Southampton, UK. So this is the way we can proceed, and we can have a good repository in true sense.
Yes. Right, sir. Thank you for this information. Okay, now I think we can resume the discussion which we actually have initialized and started in the session one, and because participants are now engaging, connecting to the session, so we can start, and we will expect that in this session at least participant will be responding to the questions.
Exactly. Many of you might be not aware about this, OER concept. So you must have to go through in detail. Otherwise, understanding OER is very simple. But unless or until you will go through their license mechanism, you will not able to understand. In face-to-face classroom training, we often have control over the participant, that we go to each and everyone, and that I had experience with NIT Kurukshetra last in Jan.
General.
So that time we had a very interactive session, and we were able to develop an insight about OER. Anyway, there is no problem in online teaching too, online training too. But you must have to go through in detail so that we will have a fruitful result of this workshop. So what I'm going to cover, whatever I have discussed so far different licensing mechanisms. So we have 6 licensing mechanism, and each license is supported by attribution license. So you could see that BY license is always there, whether it is CC BY license, CC BY SA license, CC BY NC license, CC BY NCSA license, or CC BY ND license. Apart from that, we do have two more licenses. One is public domain license, and one is CC wave of license, which is known as CC mark license. So in this session, what we are going to cover, that how we are finding the resources, how we are generating the license, how we can search the licenses, how we can remix those licenses, and how we can give our own license, how we can generate our own license using so many licensing tools. Okay, so I'll go say I'm not using PPT, although I have PPT, but I will demonstrate so that it will develop an understanding about the ideas of OERs and idea of Creative Commons licenses. So let us go. The first step I'll follow that if you are having a resource and you want to give a license, what should you need to do? What are the steps you need to follow? And we'll go step by step procedure so that it will helps you to generate your own license for different kind of resources. So let us start with the license mechanism, how we can generate our own license for different type of resources, whether you are creating a PowerPoint presentation, you are creating a document file, you are creating, even your thesis can be published with OER. We have also seen that our research paper could also publish under Creative Commons license. So it's based on for publishing a research paper and thesis, because it's a copyright transfer order, your institutions as well as the publishers can assign the Creative Commons license. However, if you are generating license for your own creation, like PowerPoint presentations, or you are creating document file or even Excel file, or any other format of document like audio, video, text format. So any kind of document you are creating, suppose that just like Yogendra Pal sir yesterday told you to create your own video and upload. So why not to include a license of Creative Commons with your video? So it will give you a professional look, as well as it will also helps others to attribute you. So it is a good practice that you create a video, because educational video, and put a license mechanism using Creative Commons license. So let us see. I'll explain how to create license for your educational resource. Okay. So what you need to do is simply what you need to do, go to the Google and type Creative Commons license. Once you will go to Creative Commons license page, you will have this page. And what I'm going to tell you, this is the new licensing wizard they have developed. By this wizard, you can create your license in six steps. Although what you need to do, simply go to Creative Commons. There is a Creative Commons license. This website will be appear.
Sir, actually, is it possible to share the browser?
Yeah, just sunset.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the browser. Once you will have this page, creativecommons.org. This page will help you to know about Creative Commons license. It's a non-profit organization from the USA, and its main office is located in Howard University. You can go through the detail. They have lot of initiative taken at even for COVID-19. What you need to do, there is an option, share your work. You have to go to share your work, and after that it will give you a wizard to select your license in 3 steps. Unlike the copyright license, you won't have to register your work to protect under copyright. Once your idea is converted to tangible format, it is already protected under copyright. Okay, so what you need to do, it will give three options. You have to select get started page, and this page allows you, there is a three framework. First is license feature, select license, helps attribute you. Okay, this is the three steps process they have given to generate your license for different purpose. Okay, so let us go how we can create license for our own, and after that I'll tell you a new feature they have tested. It is available under beta testing, and even I have given a lot of suggestion to improve further. So let us go how we can generate license. Okay, it is very simple step. It follows the three-step procedure, and let's see how we can use it for different purpose. So first, what you need to do, once you will choose your license, it will give you the two option. One option, it will give you, suppose that it is your work and you are generating license for your resource, whether you have created a PowerPoint presentation or your doc file, or you are creating a video or audio. So even audio, you can you can speak over that, and you can narrate the license mechanism. Okay, so first option would be the allow adoption of your work to be shared. It means that others can adopt your work. Okay, so if you click yes, means others can revise, reuse, remix, and redistribute the resources. Even they can retain the work. All the five parts would be applicable. If you put as no, means it won't allow adoption of the work, means it is not real. If you put as long others share alike, means what you are doing, you are generating a license for those who are adopting your work, but under the identical license. This see, as once the option you will select, it will create a license for you. I have selected share alike symbol appeared. I selected only yes, means attribution license. So only the CC BY license appear. So let's see, I have chosen share alike license so that others can attribute. Here there is an option that allow commercial uses of your work. I want that anyone who want to use my work should not use the work under commercial purpose. If I say yes, anyone can use even for commercial purpose. If I choose no, then if you see the this license will be appear here. Okay, so I selected that I don't want others to use my work for commercial purpose. Okay, so first option I have selected the share alike, and second option I have selected others can use my work but only for non-commercial purpose. So this license is automatically generated by the system. Okay, now I have to go to the third stage, and third stage, once you click that, it will give a plenty of option to you. There is a you have to remember TASL, title, author, source, and location. These four attributes you need to remember: title, author, source, and location. Location means URL. If you are not knowing any of these information, suppose that you don't know the link of that original resource, it's fine. There is no problem at all. At least you give the basic information. Just like I am giving the title of my work, okay, educational resources. Okay, attribute of my work, I am attributing myself. Means others can adopt my work, but they have to give attribution. I have given my name. If there is a URL, I can give the URL to, just like I am giving www.bhu.ac.in. Okay. source URL. If I'm adopting someone works, I can give source. Otherwise, if I'm not adopting work, uh, I won't have to give any work. More permission is basically for geographical location. As per the Berlin Convention of Copyright Act, uh, it is copyright is something is geographically located. One copyright which is applicable in India may not be applicable to other country. So that's why there is a provision. If you have certain kind of permissions for obtaining the resource, you could write here. Otherwise, no, there is no option. So what you need to do here, the license is automatically generated for you. Simply you need to copy and paste in whatever the work you have. Suppose that I have PowerPoint presentation. Suppose that I have pasted this work here. Okay, so you see at the bottom I have pasted this work, and it helps you to others to attribute my work. Suppose that I have generated this license, and I have created a learning resource file my student in form of document file. So I can paste it in document, and it helps either in or you can put at the bottom of your document, or you can put in footer of the document. It helps to attributes others your work. Just like I have, it is the complete license mechanism I have. This link is automatically generated, and this work is available under Creative Commons CC by NCSA, and the details is available under the. By clicking this link, anybody can go through the license deeds, where it will give a detailed explanation that my work should be available under this license, and what are the permitted thing and what are the not permitted thing. Just like CC by NCSA allow others to use my work, but identical license and for non-commercial license. So this is way you can, whenever you are creating a learning resource, you are creating even the nowadays books are publishing in Creative Commons license. So you can ask your publishers that you want your work should be available to everyone under Creative Commons license. So he or she institutions can make your work available under Creative Commons license, so that it would be accessible to everyone. Okay, so our motive is, we are basically created for the peoples who want to share their work. Even the cost of, if you see the cost of book, there is a study, cost of the books and journals are very high. Even cost of the book in US especially, there were a study that it show that it from 90s to till date, the cost of books, if in commercial books, got 116% high. Even many of the journals, they have the cost of the journals are very high. If we are publishing under Creative Commons license under open access, so it would be visible to everyone, and this is the way we can help the academia as serve the community, and even for the people, the country who are low income country, and for them the resources are not available free of cost. So this is way, the idea is to make them aware, make them accessible, all the content which is created by different organizations and the people across the globe. So this is way we can generate the licenses, and whenever any people can see my license, they can see this license, and based on this license mechanism, they can adopt the work. Okay. So this is way it works, and it is very simplest way. In three steps, it helps you to create your license for different purpose. There is another mechanism for that, and recently they have developed a beta version. What you need to choose, there is an option as choose beta. So once you select this option, it will helps. It will give a broader understanding. What type of understanding it will give? It will create a license for you in 6 steps, and it will also help to choose the license in different forms and format. Okay, so let us discuss this license, and it is very good license mechanism, and through that we can have details license procedures, and it is still under testing phase, but it is very relevant. Even I have given a lot of input in designing this license mechanism. Okay. So what you need to do, these are the simple steps. The same license can be generated through these steps also, but it is the simplest one and it is very easy. That was also a very good mechanism, and it has been using, we have been using since many years, and this is the recently developed license. What you need to do, you have to select this license in 6 steps. First step is, do you know which license you need? Suppose that you don't know that what kind of license you need, which is often for novice user. It is often questioned that what license I need to choose. You don't know what kind of license you are choosing for your work. So you, based on the wizard, based on the question answer format, you can choose the license. Let us work on that and learn how we can generate license using this feature. So first option would be here. There, do you know which license you need to choose? Yes, if I know, I say yes. I don't know what I need assistance for selecting a license. No, I don't know which license I need to choose. Select no, and next step. Next step would be automatically created, and it will ask a question again. Do you want attribution for your work? You want that other people will attribute? Yes, I want others, because I'm not putting this work under public domain. I want that my work should be available under attribution. Means others can attribute my work. They can give credit to me. So yes, I have selected. You see here, license is automatically generated, and it also explain what kind of permission I have. Okay. Third step would be, do you want to allow others to use your work commercially? Do you want to allow others to use your work commercially? You want your work to be used commercially or not? If I don't want, no, I don't want my work should be used commercially, I put simply no. Then there is a license of NC would be appeared here. Okay. Next step, it will ask a question that, do you want to allow others to remix, adopt, or build upon the work? Means you are allowing others to reuse your work. The purpose of basically OERs that other can attribute your work, other can remix your work, other can revise your work. You are helping the community ultimately. So what you need to do, if you click no, then it would be non-derivative license. If you click yes, others can adopt and remix my work, but I have chosen that they give credit to me. Okay. Even it will create a new question, that is adoption of work. Yes. Then the next screen would be appear, attributing detail. My attributing detail it will ask. So it, like the same way we will go the author. I will go URL created for URL. If I am having, I can give title of the work, open educational resources. I have title, and work URL. If I have, I can give it. So this is the way I can attribute my work, and license would be generated here. You see, it is automatically generated. You can copy paste. Even if you have web page, you can take HTML, or you can take copy and paste your work for different purpose. This feature will also allow you to understand the license deeds. License deed means the license you have generated, what are the permitted things available for others to attribute you. Just like I have generated this license is CC by NC, means others can use my work under non-commercial purpose, but they must have to attribute. All CC license requires attribution. Okay. Here, there is a license that CC by. Okay. Okay. Means others can Others will have to give credit to me, original creator. NC allows only non-commercial use. So it also explains the license deed. So license deed helps to understand others who are going to adopt your work. So this way you can create your license. Here there is an option to copy and paste. You can copy, and unlike same way you can paste it for different purpose. You see, open education already it is created and it is linked with the resources. So this is the way you can generate license for different purpose. Even if you want to copy, this can be copied, or if you are using a print media, it also give detail. If you are using a print media, suppose that you are not hosting, putting in digital format, and you are printing a book or your educational material, select this option, print work or media, just copy thing and paste it. It will give you the generate a license for you. So this is way it works, and it helps you to generate the content based on 6-step method. So I hope that now onward, whatever the material you will create for a student in any format, you will able to generate a license for your educational content, and put for under wide community use. Okay, so any question you have on this part, please let me know so that I can answer and I can proceed further.
Yeah, sir. Actually, till now we have not received any query or concern from the participants.
Okay,
So
okay.
let's wait for the next portion to be covered.
This is about the license mechanism. I have said that how we can generate license using. You won't have to register, unlike copyright. You won't have to register here. Also, you simply have to generate and paste use for your educational content, whether it is a PowerPoint
So
presentation.
basically, sir. So basically, if you want to generate a license, a type of license for any kind of content which we have generated, so this Creative Commons website will be the source, right, sir? From here you can generate.
Unlike copyright won't have
Yes,
need any registration.
right,
Only once your work is converted in tangible format, it is protected by copyright. The same way it works. That
right,
once you are generating any license and putting under your work, it is protected by under Creative Commons as per legal law.
right.
So this is the way we can generate, and now I'll go through in detail. That is how we can search and how we can adopt these licenses, remixing these license for different educational purpose, even for writing a research paper. Let us go one by step. So I'll start from. There are a lot of almost if you see the search engine aspect, you'll see the Bing, Google, and there are a lot of other search engines. They offers you to search images through their site, and you can identify whether these images are under Creative Commons license or not. Okay, so let's see how it works. I'm going to demonstrate how we can search and how we can find OERs and how we can adopt using adapters license. Okay, so you must have to remember the adapters license, that compatibility wizard, compatibility chart, so that we can remix the resources using different purpose. You only need to remember only one thing, which is very important, that TASL, mean title, author, source, and location. If you are remembering these 4 points, you are able to locate this information. You can generate a very good license mechanism using Creative Commons Wizard. Okay, so whenever you are creating any of the source, whether you are creating an educational video, you are creating a PowerPoint presentation, you are creating a document file, or any other source, don't forget to put your Creative Commons license. It will have a legal license, as well as it will protect your work under copyright for you. Okay, so I'm going to proceed how we can search and how we can find OERs. So simply, I'm going to start with the images, and searching OER is is it's very simple, and you can find any of the resources. So it's a common practice that we do adopt whenever we write the papers. We simply, or you are using creating a PowerPoint presentation, we simply Google it, and we use any of the images without seeing their copyright restriction. So any images which is not available under Creative Commons license or OER, you could not use those images for your PowerPoint presentation, your research article, or any other kind of educational content. So what you need to do, you need to choose the only OERs which allows you to modification and to crop that images so that you can use for same image for creating PowerPoint presentation as well as different kind of educational content. Okay, so what you need to do? Let us start with Amaze, and I'm creating a PowerPoint presentation. Suppose that on marketing concept. Okay, so marketing, just like internal marketing, service marketing, and a lot of concepts are there of marketing. So let us see how we can search it. So what you need to do, simply you have to go to the images.google.com. This is the image portal of Google, and it will search thousands of images in different formats. So what you need to do, simply you have to suppose that I have made a query, internal marketing. I want an image of internal. These many images are appear. It is thousands of images are appear, and all images are. It is a mix of images. It retrieve Google retrieve the mix of images in the sense that it it retrieve the copyrighted image. It retrieve the OER image Creative Commons license. It retrieve the images which is under public domain. Lots of images are being retrieved through this Google image search. Okay, I want to use only those images which
Hello.
can modify and
Yes,
I will use it.
Hello.
yes, yes,
Sriram sir,
please.
Yeah, yes.
sorry, that the mark we found on some articles, that C mark, is it a, how that is generated?
C, C mark means copyrighted.
That is
It is
copyright. So how
exactly
does we generate this C
C,
from this
C
Creative
mark is
Commons only?
generated. I told you already, ma'am, that if it is a research article, the license is generated by the publishers. Okay, if it is an institution has authority to generate the license. Being an author, you have moral right, even because you are the holder of copyright.
No, no,
You
sir. Definitely, the institution has the right, but how they can generate? Is it any software to generate this,
that I
or
told
we
you.
have to enter in some database?
Yeah, that's what I said. That even copyright, you did not, you do not need any registration. Unlike, you can generate license using license chooser at Creative Commons website. It's a organization created for generating the license, and whatever the
So
option
this
it
is the
has.
only organization. This is the only
Yes,
organization.
yes, ma'am. It is the only organization throughout world who are responsible for Creative Commons. Its name is Creative
Okay.
Commons. It's a
Okay, sir.
non-profit
Thank you.
organization, and they are working
I
for
get it.
promoting at global level. Okay.
Thank you,
So
sir.
it will create a license for you, and you can generate. Being a because you are a creator of that resource. I told you that I have generated my license for my PPT, and I am putting for different use. So you can, unlike me, you can create the license by using license chooser. It is very simple option available through Creative Commons website. So go to Creative Commons, select license chooser, follow these 6 steps, and generate a license and cut copy paste. It will work for you. So there is no problem. At least it will give an idea to the others who are adopting to the work. Just like my PowerPoint presentation, this PowerPoint presentation has already generated license. Means it is already uploaded to SlideShare and many other sites. So what has to you need to do? If others will adopt my work, they will take care my license. It is available under BIDLA. So they will attribute me that content of this part is is the original creator is Dr. Sriram Pandey. So I'll tell you how you can adopt the work. Okay, I'm just telling you how we can search OES. Okay, the resources which are available under Creative Commons. Okay. So what I was I was looking for an image which is available under Creative Commons license, and I am creating a PPT for PowerPoint presentations, which requires a lot of images for Creative Commons of internal marketing. So internal marketing हमने keyword choose किया है. आप कोई भी ले सकते हैं. You can take any of the keyword as per your choice, as per your presentation, as per your educational content. Okay, so only one thing you need to remember, that there is an option of tools. Okay, so if you go to the tools option in Google image search, once the result is retrieved, it will give a tool option. Go to the tools, there is a option of usage right. Okay, the usage right option is nothing but it is a creative filtered through the Creative Commons license. The first option is not filtered by license. I said it is by default. Once the result is retrieved, by default it retrieve all kind of images, whether it is a copyright images or it is OER images. It retrieve. So as per copyright law, without the permission, you could not use any of the images. So there is a lot of restriction. You could not image, even not only the image consent, even the in terms of videos, in terms of audio, it is equally, copyright is equally applicable. So these last 4 licenses are nothing but Creative Commons license. The first license is labeled for reuse and modification, means it allows you to reuse and modification, means it is nothing but CC BY license. Okay, it is, even you can extend, it is nothing but CC BY SA license. Both are same because it won't allow you, it is not anywhere written that it allows you to change the license or not. The second is level for you reuse. It is only reuse allowed. Okay, reuse allowed. It is nothing but CC BY, CC BY ND. Because it allows reuse, you can reuse, but you could not change. Label for non-commercial reuse and modification mean NC and BY. So it is nothing but it is CC BY NC license, and label for non-commercial reuse allowed means it is also maybe considered it is CC BY license. So these are the nothing but these are the CC licenses, and based on this mechanism provided, suppose that you want to take an image and you are cropping that image so that it can fit in your PowerPoint presentation. So I have selected the first one. I'm using these images and I will modify too. Okay. Suppose that now my result has been changed. What I did, I went to the tools, selected, labeled for modification. Okay, and there is an option. Okay, so suppose that I'm taking a label for use and modification. It is the CC BY license. It is very flexible license, and all these images which is retrieved by Google is labeled for CC BY. It means I can take it without permission or without violating copyright. Being an educator, we must have to be aware about this concept. Otherwise, we are violating the copyright infringement, and even some extent to plagiarism too. Okay, so what you need to do, if you want to check this license whether this image is available under Creative Commons license, suppose that I want to use this image. Okay, so you can check these images. If you go in detail, you will find that here it is written, this image is available under CC BY SA license. I said to you. Okay, CC, it is available in CCSA, means I can use this image. There is no, I can modify, I can crop it, but I have to give this license attribution. Means I can copy, it is written, already it is written. I can copy, distribute and remix the work, and I can adopt someone else. There is no problem in that. So these images I can copy and reuse for different purpose. Even they have option to download this image in various size and format. Suppose that I'm using this image. Okay, so let's see how we can give license to this image. So I have saved this image. Either you can save or you can, there is a download option. Okay, I have saved to my desktop. 7 P's of service marketing, which is very 7 P's concept is very much popular. I have saved to my desktop. Okay, my image is saved, and I want to use this image for creating OER, because it's a OER. I won't have to take any permission. I want to use this image for different purpose. Suppose that I'm writing a research paper, I'm putting this image. So how we can adopt this license? Let us see how it works. Okay, so there is a lot of option is available, and you can use it for different purpose. Let's see how it works. Okay, so suppose that I'm writing a research paper, and I want to use this image for explaining the concept. We hardly, what we do simply, हम करते क्या है यहाँ पे, just like I have inserted this image. I went to desktop, I have used this image, and I have generally what we do whenever we are writing any research paper or any educational content, generally we write this like this source, and if we want to give attribute and copy the URL and this. It is totally illegal to do that. We could not give license like that. Even because it's a OER, we are permitted to reuse, crop it, and to modify. Suppose that this is the bigger image, I want to crop it. Okay, so I have cropped this image. I have cropped it and make it shorter. Okay, so I have cropped this image. So now it is shorter. We are modifying image only by citing the source. It is illegal way to do that. Once you identify that this image is suitable for your educational content and you are cropping that image, there is a different mechanism to adopt this license. How we can adopt this license? It is very easy to do that through CC Wizard. How we can do that? Let's see how we can give references to this image. Okay. Again, you go to your previous menu, licensing wizard. What you need to do, suppose that you are adopting this work, okay? It is already under CC. I am explaining from this side, okay? In 6 attributes, what you need to do, you have to give the work author if it is available, and if author is not available, here you will see the details, information is there. You see there is the author name is there. So work author, I'm adopting some more work. In there, what I was doing, I was creating a license for my own resource. So this is also license generation, but you are citing any source by finding OERs available. So original author is this, okay? And title of the work, if something is available, let's see this image. Yes, title is available. Title is 7 P's of marketing. This is adopter. I'm adopting this one. Okay. If URL you want to give, you can. You are free to do that. I have giving the URL to. Okay. So it will generate a license for you. And how we can generate a license? Okay. This is a very simple way to use this license. Okay. And here you will see that license is automatically generated. Here there is a option of copy. Okay. What you need to do? Go to here. You won't have to write anything. You write like this. 7 P's of marketing by. Then what you need to do, then you have to use this one, and they, because you have cropped the image, you have to write cropped from original. So this is the new way to writing references for the image for any kind of educational resource. So this is way we can write. Only simply giving the URL is not going to work. So this is the new way to give the resource. Okay, and if you are writing your research papers, or you are writing the references of images like this, it will give a good impression to the editors too, that you are aware about the OER concept and you are writing reference in this standard way. So this is way it will work. Suppose that what you are doing, you are changing this color and platform, just like what I did. I have changed the color. Okay, so let's see. There is a reset. I have changed the color. I have changed the color. Suppose that I have taken this color. Okay, so I have changed the color, but something is because I have changed the color. What you need to do, there is a writing style. Here you have to write desaturated from original. So I have taken this image and it is desaturated from the original. So this is way we can use these images and write references whenever you are creating any educational content or writing a research paper. So this is a pretty much good practice to adopt OER without taking permission, because it's a OER. You can revise, remix, retain, and for different purpose. But what are the steps you need to follow? Simply you have to go to the Google, go to the tools. There is an option of filtering the license. Once you filter the license, go to the license wizard and see the permission, and again you by attributing details, give the attribute author detail and title of the work and URL detail. It will generate a license for you and you can adopt for different purpose. So this is way it will work. Okay, so what I told you that go to the image search. Okay, go to the image search, go to the tools, select level, use, and more. All these options are available. All are Creative Commons license. Go to the image detail and use your image for different purpose. So if you adopt in practice, being an academician for educational content, it will work pretty well and it will create a good impression among educational community. So any question do you have? You can ask me. Otherwise, I will proceed further.
Yeah, actually, till now we are getting acknowledgements, appreciation, but questions we are not getting. So
I don't know need much of it. I only need that whatever I am saying, it is through a lot of reading, and if you have a little idea about Creative
yeah,
Commons.
so let's take a break of 1 or 2 minutes. So in between, in this 1 to 2 minutes time, let me call participants to share if they are having any kind of query or any kind of
because
doubt.
it's a lot of things I am going to discuss about the Creative Commons.
Yeah, so now this forum is open for questions or any doubts. Please enable your video or audio, whatever convenient to you, and share with us, please. It will be more appreciated.
Hello, Vikram sir.
Yes, ma'am, please.
This is Sarika.
Yes.
It is wonderful session actually, because I was looking for how to reuse certain images from the web, which I'm not allowed to create even. For example, LOD cloud image.
Yes.
So now I understand how can I do it.
Yes, sir. Sir, This question is sufficiently clear to you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually, this is not a question. This is just an appreciation to sir that he made me understand how can I create a
Right.
CC license for an image that I'm taking from Google.
Yes,
now
ma'am.
you are clear, ma'am, how you can do
Yeah, it
that.
is perfectly clear to me.
Yeah, it will help
Thank
you
you
to
so much for
develop,
that.
yeah. Even I'll tell you how
Actually,
to remix the
yes, sir.
content.
Please, please. Yes. Yeah. So actually, I have a very small experience related to this. Last year, one of article we have added one image. Uh, it is kind of a block diagram actually, and we have submitted the paper in transaction platform, and they have mentioned that it is very rarely found that in a block diagram. I mean, we are having this Creative Commons thing. So I think in each platform it is basically having some kind of appreciation if we mark or label this CC thing, and in future also these things will be noticed. Yeah. So any other question? Okay, there is a question by Dr. Saraswati Yadav, ma'am. Does this link contain images of all types or all subject? Yes, ma'am. So this
Yeah,
Google image, yeah. Yes, sir.
it
Please.
has the most of the images, even the license. If you go through the image detail, you will see the license deed. If it is not available, also because at the time of uploading these images, the original creator had specified the license, so you won't have to worried about. You can use these images under Creative Commons license for different purpose, so you won't have to worry about the copyright restriction input.
I think okay. So there was a mechanism. I think, sir, you might be covering that fact that this platform called Tiny Eye. I think Tiny Eye is the platform, right?
Is
So I
that
think you will be covering it.
yeah, I'm covering Tina. Even there
Yeah.
is lot of other tools that
Right. Right.
even whenever I'm creating my PowerPoint presentation, I'm taking only the OER images. It is not
Right.
a license images. So it is better idea. Now, why we should go for copyrighted thing? Why should not go for OER, which is readily available for educational community? And being a educators, it is our responsibility to create educational content free of cost. It is the even with the declaration of UN charter that education resources must be available free of cost to everyone around the world. So that is the motive that we are working together. Even a lot of software, if you go open source software, these all are motive of open kind of thing, so that it is they are helping each other, so that we can create a learning culture by each other. Okay, so let's see
Right.
how it will work. So till now I have covered Google Images. Suppose that this is the and same way it is applicable to to others like Bing Search or many other tools. Okay, suppose that I have used these images, it is already available. Okay, so I have already copied. Because it is available in a Creative Commons, I won't have to worry about, because license it says that it is available under Creative Commons. It means that I can revise, remix, and reuse the content. I have labeled it with the reuse and modification, so I can reuse and modify as per our need. If you get reuse only, it means non-derivative license. So it based on the need you have, and it based on the requirement you are specifying for your content, and you are going to adopt someone else work. Okay, there is a reverse conditions that is already asked by one of the madam, that already we are using so many content from different sources, and we are not aware that who is the original creator, and whether we can use these images or text. Okay, these can be also searched, and it is very much possible through Google reverse image search. Suppose that you are searching presentation on internal marketing, you will get a lot of presentation over the web through SlideShare and many others website. But whether these authors have used those images, which is OER, or they are using copyrighted images. So you can check that too. So what you need to do, suppose that I have already saved that images, I can use the reverse image search, and I can recognize that whether this image which I am using is OER is not, which is available under Creative Commons or not. So what I need to do, simply you need to do that, go to the image google.com, and there is a option available here. If it is a URL, suppose that URL available, I can check that this image is available, because I already checked once. I am not using this images. I am going to upload an image. There is a reverse image upload option. I can choose a file, and I'm using the same image. I am not aware that these images are available under Creative Commons license or not. So whatever the image you are getting, simply you go through it and just click on that image. Okay, it will appear lots of images from so many sources. So these images is appeared in so many times, even in social media platforms. Even people are sharing without knowing the copyright restrictions. So all images are not available under Creative Commons, and you could not image or you could not share anywhere. So what you need to do, you need to simply go to the tools again, the same practice you need to adopt, usage right, and click on label for use and modification. So whatever the images, among those images, now only one image I got among all the images which can be reused is allowed and modified allowed, and that image already we got. This is the only image. So if you are having any image and you want to see that whether this image is available under Creative Commons or not, you can very much search through Google reverse image search. There is another option which is available for you, is there is a Bing search option. Okay, even Bing search allow you to, if you are using Bing search by Microsoft, there is an option of reverse image search. Okay, you need to simply click on search image, the same option, take a photo, or you paste image or URL. So either you can paste the image or you can browse. So either you can paste the image or you can browse the content. So I am browsing the same thing, and let's see how Microsoft gives the result. You see, this image is available. Unlike Google, it is also, it is give the description about, it is appears only one time, and this image, this is through visual search, and it also explained the text from, extracted the text from there. Unlike the same Google, it extracted the, but Microsoft also filter the result based on these results, and through this you can locate easily that whether that image is only one image is available. So by clicking these images, you can go to in detail and you can search. If you are getting more than one image, there is an option of similar kind of image, and you can uh, see the list of available images, and even 7Ps of available through various platforms. So by going through the link detail, you can identify that whether these images is available under Creative Commons or not. So Google Bing also offer pretty good result, Bing search, and you can use Bing search for locating that image, whether that image is available under copyright or it is. There is another search engine which is also good. I used so many times. Okay, this image is also offers you. This is Yandex. It is a very good search tools, and it also helps you to reverse image search. Suppose that I was explaining you this image already, and this image is already, it is available. Similar kind of images already available in so many places. Even there is a thing that you could remember that go through. I'm searching reverse image same way. I search and I got the result. So what happened? One thing you should remember that it is very much possible that the same image is available in Creative Commons or the similar kind of image is available in Creative Commons. So same image can be available in copyright as well as in Creative Commons. So both way it is available. So you know, if I'm the creator of resource, I have made my resource available to the people so that they can use it, they can modify it, and same way it is protected by the copyright in a book form or in a research article form. Or if the same image is not available, just like I have given you example of dog image. Okay, that dog image was not compatible to each other. So what happened? I took a different image. Just like if this image it is already available under Creative Commons, if that image is not available under Creative Commons, I can take this image also. It's similar kind of image I am having. So you know, this is the way we can search and we can get the similar kind of images. It takes some time, but it will retrieve the result. You see, so many images are there. It's a similar kind of images. The same thing is there, but their interpretation has been changed. Okay, so you can you know, get so many images from different purpose, and you can refine your result based on the things available. Just like the same thing is available. You see, the same thing is available in different format. You see, explanation in different language. Okay, by going through the URL, you can able to recognize, even you can crop the images. You can recognize that whether these images are available under Creative Commons or not.
Hello.
There are certain
Yes,
other
Hello.
sir, there is a question. Yes, sir, please go ahead. The question.
Yes,
Sir, I'm Dr. Lalit Thakur, and basically I want to ask two questions.
Yes, sir.
So first question is this: that can you differentiate between the getting license, this CC by NC, and getting the copyright of your work? And the second question is that suppose I have developed my own online content here in India, and I have obtained this CC by NC license, and there is some other person who is sitting abroad, and he is from some private organization and some online teaching agency, and he is using my work, and he's getting paid from the users. So, and I got to know that he's using my work. So then what I will do in such case?
Yeah, that one thing is that, sir, obtaining, you won't have to obtain any license, even for copyright also, even for CC also. You won't have to obtain the license. It is the automatic procedure. Once your work is transformed to the tangible object, it is copyrighted, protected. The same way CC works. Only you have to give the license. Okay. The others people, if you are putting CMAS, it is copyrighted. Okay, means under the court of law, it is protected. Okay, if someone is misusing that your work, it means under the court of which comes under criminal law, you can challenge, and because it is the prima facie, you won't have to registered before that. You can claim or you can get the compensation. That is always there because it is under creative, it is copyrighted. The same way Creative Commons work, but Creative Commons offers you flexibility to share the content. Copyright work you could not share because it's a restrictive. Even copyright law is India is very, although it has given the classroom interaction exemption, some of the exemption are there, but they are very limited. So what are the options we have? We want to protect copyright and we still want to share my work. I want that other can attribute my work. So I have shifted to OER. Even all these agency, government organizations, they are saying that your content, educational content must be as per the guidelines of OERs. So you are creating OERs and you are putting the use. It is someone else's responsibility that they are citing your work and giving credit to your work or not. It is totally depend. It's the same like you are writing a research paper and you are not citing. You are citing some own ideas, but you are not giving the in-text citation or references. So nobody can do anything, no. But later or sooner, if it can be identified, it can be challenged under the court of law because it's a legal license. Hope it helps, sir.
Yes, Lalit sir, I hope it is answered.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
I hope it is answered.
Yeah.
Question is answered.
Yes. I got my answer. I just want to know that in India, is there an agency where I can go for my such grievance directly?
Yes, we can see that's the problem actually. I think, sir, please.
Actually, I would suggest that whatever the educational content you are creating and which is in OER and you are worrying about the things that whether it would be others will attributes and they can publish by their name, you submit your content in National Repository of OER. It is the Government of India initiative, a National Repository of OER. It is the Government of MHRD initiative. It is the NMEICT project. And if you put the repository, they will generate a URL for your resource also. So you could at least say that my resource is I have put under the National Repository of OER and it is visible to everyone and somebody has misused my work. So this is the way it works.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir, please continue.
Yes, you can continue.
Okay. So the same way it works for image also. If you are using some image, just like you want to use image from a textbook, and textbook is copyrighted, you could not use that image unless the permission is provided a publisher. That's why in every book you will find there is a written statement at the back of title page that copyright all rights reserved, and production in any means you need permission from publishers, because publisher is ultimate copyright holder of your book. So in that case also you need to check whether these images or similar kind of images are available under CC2. So there is a other tool, there is a T9, it is a private company. It's a good tool that you can go through and you can search, just like I have already used 7SAR. It is already CC and I want to check whether just like I am checking this compatibility chart also. You see this compatibility chart I have used, which was available under Creative Commons. So I have used it for my PowerPoint presentations. You see, I got 51 results. I got 51 results from so many sources. Okay, so this compatibility chart is hosted in 51 locations, different location over the web. It's not only the single site it is hosted by. So if you go through DeepL, there is a best match option. There is a also filtered by if you go through the Creative Commons. So 2 images out of 51 location, only 2 images are available under Creative Commons, which I can use it for different purpose. So this is way it works. Okay, so if there is a certain image available and you want to use for different purpose, you can search these search engines and filter the result using different filter option available. So this is way it works. Okay, even you especially for images, if you go through the website flickr.com/Creative Commons, it is one of the best, you can say, that site I have seen so far, that it organizes the content based on different licensing mechanism. You see, the attribution licenses there, non-derivative licenses there, non-commercial non-derivative licenses is there, non-commercial license, attribution share alike, and all the CC dedication licenses and CC mark licenses there. So all licenses are there. It is all licenses, all the images are categorized through the licenses, and you can use these images for different purpose because it's a CC image and millions, trillions of images are available. Millions of images are available under Creative Commons. So if you are looking for for your educational content, just try to explore Creative Commons and Creative Commons at Flickr.com. It also explains the license mechanism. So go to this license mechanism and search the website. You will get an insight about license mechanism, as well as it categorizes thousands of millions of resources based on various criteria of Creative Commons. So I can use these images free of cost. Even it is very much, this site is very much popular among these newspaper agencies. They have already, so many agencies have already, there's a Getty Images site, although the Flickr site. So whatever they are using the images for their newspapers as well as for online newspapers, they are using these OER images. They are not using any copyrighted images. Otherwise, they will violate the copyright too. Earlier they used to have, but nowadays they are using only Creative Commons license images and for newspapers and publishing the magazine. So if they need an image, even if you need image for your infographic template, you are going to conduct a workshop and you need a very good infographic template background image. So go for OERs. Don't go for commercial. It would help you to to work under purview of copyright and still give freedoms to showcase your visibility of resource. So this is the way it works in terms of images. Suppose that you want to work for the text. Okay, text is a very common thing, but even text you can copy. OERs allow you can revise, remix, revise, redistribute, retain the text as well. But there is a different. The picture of plagiarism will comes here. Here, even you can search the text which is available under Creative Commons. Means you can revise, you can reuse for different purpose. Even you can translate from another language to another language based on the license mechanism it has. But do not take into consideration the plagiarism part, because if you are taking a text, it must be plagiarized. Okay, so you need to paraphrase. So for educational content, nobody is worried about just like you are creating educational content for your student. So it is plagiarism is basically it is more applicable on educational content like research papers or a book form. You are writing a content by remixing the sources. You are creating a OER and you are publishing under your resource under OER. So you won't have to worry about the plagiarism at all. Even your text is copied from so many sources. Just like you are looking for the sources, just like I'm looking for, I'm writing a book on open educational resources. I'm looking for the text. What you need to do, go to Google Advanced Search, and it will give an option here, the same filter license that I want to share, even commercially, even I can reuse and I can modify. So I can reuse, modify, even commercially I can use it. I can use it for my books, this text, without paraphrasing. Even I can use it for educational content for the student. There is no problem at all. So these are all the contents, all these, it is taken from, all is open platform. It is taken from all these open platform, and you don't have to take any permission to use this text. You can use this text for educational content. You can share over the student. You can share across the community. You can revise the content. You can mesh up the content. You won't have any problem or any copyright restriction. So go to Google Advanced Search, filter your content based on the license mechanism provide, OER Creative Commons license mechanism provide, and you will have a freedom to adopt, modify, remix, and revise the content. So this is the way the OER works, and it will give you option freedom to even adopt the text. Let us discuss how, suppose that we are creating an educational content by remixing so many sources. Okay, just like it is equally applicable for YouTube license too. It is YouTube videos too. You can download these YouTube video. All these YouTube videos are just like, I'm looking for videos on internal marketing. I'm creating internal marketing videos. I have to take definition from somewhere. Okay, so I got a lot of results here. On internal marketing, if you could see, I got a lot of results. And these videos are mostly, if you so, it is created by some organizations or some of the institutions or some of the agencies, and these are, most of the videos are copyrighted. You could not use these images. Okay, so these videos, and you could not remix for your creating an educational content. Even you could not show in the class. What do you need to do? Here also there is a flexibility for you for YouTube creation under YouTube, that you can filter based on Creative Commons license. So go to the filter option, and there is an option of Creative Commons. Go to the Creative Commons, and it will list out all the videos which is made under Creative Commons license. Means you can revise. Suppose that I like this video, and I want to take a screenshot. I can use it. I can remix with my own videos for educational content. Then what you need to do, you simply you can download it, reuse, remix it, and you can see the license. I will tell you. This is go in detail. Here it is already written that Creative Commons license reuse allowed. If you go in detail, it means that it will allow you to modify and remix with your educational video. So it will help you to create educational videos in interactive way by combining so many sources from different purpose. So this is way we can make interactive videos, and by combining so many sources which is available under Creative Commons. So far I have discussed how we can use it for educational content, for images, for text, for videos, and how we can identify that whether that image or a text is available under Creative Commons or not. So this is way the Creative Commons works, and we can adopt this Creative Commons license by filtering mechanism of Google, and since there are so many other tools which helps you to identify the Creative Commons license resources. And this is the way we can create educational content and remix the different educational content for creating our own learning resources. So this is a brief about how we can find, how we can remix, how we can revise, and how we can attribute Creative Commons and make it open educational resources. So I am open for the questions, and although I had a lot of things to discuss, but due to time constraint and all, but I would happy to take your queries, and this is the way we can learn from each other. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. So actually, there are actually few questions we are getting this recent sessions. So one question is related, what are the things to be taken care while uploading our own video in YouTube? So basically, it is about, again.
Yeah, that's one I already discussed, that whenever you are uploading your videos, because it's your own creation, first thing, don't forget to put a Creative Commons license in the video itself. At the front, at the starting, you can put. It is always better idea to put at the end of the video. It is a global standard, and at the end of video you can put this license, or there is an option you can put at the front page, starting point as well. The first thing, once this part is over, whenever you are uploading to the any of the site like YouTube, So it will give you two options. One is YouTube license, and the second option it will give the Creative Commons license. So it is always a better idea that all these four options is available there. So make your resource under Creative Commons, so that other can attribute you, others can reuse your content, and they can get they can generate a very highly effective educational content for the students. So use Creative Commons license, and it is
Yes.
a worldwide community. People are looking towards the open content, and they are generating content for educational needs.
Yeah, so there is a question by Dr. Saraswati. Sir, ma'am, can you enable yourself, enable your audio, and let's discuss the question.
Hello.
I request you to kindly enable your audio, ma'am, please. Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Sir, my question is very simple.
Yes.
As we are starting online classes in our institute, so we are preparing PPT for a student. So definitely we will take help from online PPTs, which are available to all, but they are using certain basic definitions. And this time I'm asking different questions.
Yes.
So I have taken, say out of 20 slides, I have taken 3-4 slides from an online PPT, and rest of the material is self-created, that means created by me. So what type of copyright I should put when uploading?
Yeah, because you are because your adopters, like you are adopting someone work, but they have not. It is specified the license. Okay, so if they have not specified later, you won't have to worry about it. You want your work to be available for the student, and you can choose any of the Creative Commons license. You won't worry about that. If someone has not specified a license, now once your work is available under Creative Commons license, others can attribute your work once it is made available on different platform.
Thank you, sir. Sir, one more thing, what I want to make clearer, that what part I'm copying is basic. That means, say, definition of a set. It is available in every book. So if I am copying a particular slide representing the definition of set, so that slide cannot be have part of.
One thing is very clear in Copyright Act, that common knowledge, something which is common knowledge, okay, just like you are using a formula, or just like you are using the common knowledge, Delhi is the capital of India, so you won't have to give the references, or you won't have to cite the source. But if you are using someone ideas, someone findings in your educational content, you must have cite the resource. Only put the in-text citation as well as give reference at the end. That is the better.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Right. So, sir, there is a question by Dr. Minathi. Well, ma'am, Minathi, ma'am, is it possible to you to enable your audio and discuss the question? Minathi, ma'am. Minathi, ma'am, is it possible? Yes, ma'am, please.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Vikram.
Yes, ma'am.
My question is, suppose I am using some image or any figure for my PPT, right? And in that case, it is not from open educational resource. But in that PPT, I want to add something. I want to do some revision, some modification. Can I do that one? Or I need some permission for that one, like copyright permission?
If it is your image you have created through simulation process, or through just like you have created through one of the software, it is very much because you are the owner of that creator. You can put any of the license, whether you want to make them available under Creative Commons or not, it is your choice. But
no, sir, it is not. No, sir, I have not created, but I am using some other source.
Yeah, you are using
which is not an open source.
Yeah, which is not under copyright. So I said there is some provision. The work should be under exemption. The work should be under fair use. The work should be allowable to reuse under license mechanism, or it is in public domain. If the work is available in these four aspects, you can use it. Otherwise, you could not use that image. You required permission for that. Permission
Okay.
is
So suppose I took the permission, I got
Yeah.
the copyright permission, and I'm using that one. But for the benefit of the students, I want to add something. But can I do that things, or again after adding, or I need to permission for that one?
Yes, ma'am. It is. I have already shown during the generation of this Creative Commons
CC.
license, there is an option of permission. You specified that permission in that column,
Okay,
and
got it.
that way you can make your resource under Creative Commons.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks.
So actually, we are still having few minutes for the questions. If
We can-
any, so yeah, we can take few questions.
Yeah.
So if we have any question from participant side, we are open to listen to those questions, and we request participants to enable audio and share their questions, please. So we are waiting for a few questions. Dr. Vikas Rao sir, do we have questions from your side today? Dr. Vikas Rao sir. Okay, so I think questions are answered. Whatever question we are having in our mind. Firstly, okay, yes, I am here to ask. Okay, Naresh sir is ready with you. Sir, please enable your audio, sir. Yes, please.
Sir, yes, sir. It's my pleasure to appreciate today this delivery of your presentation is very nice. So just I want to ask if some research work is already published and that is of very high good quality, so that can be patent. We can file the patent for that published research work.
In frankly speaking, sir, patent process is quite different from the research publication. Patent is actually they are granting patent for basically for process. Okay, so patents is also a form of intellectual property right, and copyright is also a form of copyright. You are publishing some work, and before publication itself, as per my understanding, you must have filed your case to the patent. Even patents takes time to get approved, and in duration, if your work is published, there's no problem in that. Patent organization, even India office in patent, they verify the process through experts and they are granting the thing. But it is always, the people are following this norm that they are filing the patent, and until the work is not granted patent, they are not publishing in the form of a research paper. Otherwise, it reveals their findings. So that's why. Although it is very much possible that you can publish your patent is also a document in the form of process, and they do publish in their website. But after granting the patent.
Yes, sir. I think the question is answered. Now, we are not having any questions pending. Questions has been answered.
I personally suggest that just go through the Creative Commons site, have a look on these licenses whenever you are presenting your work to your student, or you are creating any PowerPoint presentation or any kind of document. Do generate a license and put in your all kind of resources. It will help you to give a professional look of your document, as well as it will showcase a better visibility of your research work and your educational content. So
Right.
thank you so much. If keep in touch with me for any queries in case you have in future.
Okay, so I think with this we can conclude today's discussion on Creative Commons and OER. And actually, Dr. Sriram Pandey will be with us for tomorrow's session also. And tomorrow's session will be the highlight of this FDP. That's what I perceive. Because in tomorrow's session, we will be discussing two main aspects. First aspect is naturally creating this Google Classroom for delivering the classroom contents. And second aspect, which is most important part of this whole FDP, that is called e-assessment. How basically we can assess our students So Dr. Srinath Pandey will be discussing one. Yes, sir.
For the first session, I'll take
Yes, sir.
Google Classroom is very common. So
Yes.
I'll start from assessment,
Right, sir.
and I'll take a comprehensive session on rubric feature in Google Classroom.
Yes.
So that in 1.5 hours, everyone have a better understanding that how we can evaluate and generate the evaluate their student based on the rubrics, how they can create and rubrics. And the second part, I'll be covering the Moodle aspect of assessment. That is how we can create a question paper which includes multiple choice, which includes the short answer, which include descriptive type, and
Right.
how if we are having already a question, it is in predefined format, how we can import and use it in Moodle. So we will covering the both LMS. One is for Google Classroom rubric assessment,
Yes.
and second we will covering the Moodle assessment. So
Right,
this
sir.
is the way it will help to
Yes, so thank you for briefly outlining the tomorrow session. So I request each and every participant to be on time, so that because tomorrow session will engage a lot of activities in the session during the session by sir. So let's start on time and let's finish on time. And so one particular thing I want to share: if anyone related to you are interested to learn rubrics, this tomorrow session will be open for that. Though we have closed our registration for the FDP, but for tomorrow's session, we are open for, it is open for public basically for tomorrow's session. So we will be ready for that. So you can share the Google Meeting links to others who wants to understand the rubrics part, because rubrics is, I think, or less explored part, and it is basically having an important role in e-assessment whenever we are engaging online classroom. So thank you for that from my side also, and let's be connected tomorrow for the tomorrow session. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, participant.
everyone. Have a
Thank you.
nice day.
Thank you.